Okay, so today we're going to do a deep dive into something pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's pretty intense stuff, but really interesting.
Yeah, so this book, it kind of lays out like these strategies,
Yeah.
strategies that powerful people throughout history have used
That's right.
to, gain and maintain power.
Exactly. It's like a playbook, but not necessarily one you should follow blindly.
Right, exactly, exactly. It's more about like recognizing these patterns, right?
Uh-huh.
So you can kind of see how power dynamics work
Uh-huh.
and, not be a victim to them yourself. And maybe even use some of them for
Yeah.
good. I don't know.
It's definitely more about understanding how the game is played,
Sure.
right? Whether you choose to play it or not.
Totally. And one thing that I thought was really cool about this book is how each of these laws is like backed up with historical examples. Like it's not just theoretical stuff. It's like rooted in, actual events
Yeah.
throughout
Yeah.
history.
It shows you that this stuff's been going on forever, human nature and all that.
Exactly. Okay, so let's dive into some of these laws. Law number 1, never outshine the master.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I feel like we've all been there at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where you like accidentally made your boss
Yeah.
feel a little insecure by being too good at your job.
Right. Like you don't want to make them feel threatened.
Exactly. So Green's saying like sometimes it's better to play it a little cool.
Right. Definitely. A little strategic humility can go a long way.
It makes you wonder like how many historical figures got themselves into trouble because they were just too good.
Oh, tons, I bet. Like, think about someone like Thomas Cromwell, who was advisor to Henry VIII, super competent guy, but that ultimately led to his downfall.
Yeah, because Henry felt threatened, right?
Exactly. He saw Cromwell as a rival, not an asset.
Wow. Okay, so lesson learned, don't outshine the master too much.
Unless you're ready to take their place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Ooh, sneaky. Okay, law number 2. This one's like straight out of a spy movie. Conceal your intentions.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
So it's basically like keep people guessing, right?
Keep them on their toes. If they don't know what you're going to do next, it's harder for them to counter you.
So like in military strategy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Surprise attacks and stuff like that.
Absolutely. It's all about the element of surprise. And I think that applies to everyday life, too. Like if you're negotiating a deal or something.
Not really. I never thought about it like that.
Keeps the other person off balance.
Okay, so law number 3. This one kind of feels like it goes against everything we're told these days, with social media and everything.
What's that?
Always say less than necessary.
Ah, yes. The power of silence.
Yeah, it's like we're always supposed to be communicating and putting ourselves out there.
Right. But Green's saying there's strength in holding back. Think about it. If someone's super talkative, do you automatically assume they know what they're talking about?
Not always.
But if someone's quiet and reserved, it's like they have this air of mystery and authority, right?
Like you automatically assume they know more than they're letting on.
Exactly. And that can be really powerful.
So maybe I should just like stop talking so much.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but being mindful of how much you reveal can be really strategic.
Okay, law number 4. Court attention at all costs. This one feels a little, I don't know, risky.
Risky? How so?
Well, isn't there such a thing as bad publicity?
Sure, there is. But Green's point is that being ignored is worse. In the realm of power, visibility is everything.
So even negative attention is better than no attention at all.
To a certain extent, yes. Because it keeps you in the public eye, keeps people talking about you.
I guess that makes sense. Like think about some of those controversial figures throughout history. Love them or hate them, you can't deny they had an impact.
Exactly. They knew how to control the narrative, even if it wasn't always positive.
So it's not just about getting attention, it's about like owning your story.
Exactly. It's about using that attention to your advantage.
All right, law number 5 is get others to do the work for you, but take the credit. This one sounds a bit, I don't know, exploitative.
It can be if you take it to an extreme. But Green's not advocating for taking advantage of people. It's more about delegation and recognizing talent.
So it's like being a good leader.
Yeah, kind of. It's about building a team where everyone benefits, you get the credit, but your team gets to showcase their skills and contribute to something meaningful.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's
Yeah.
like you're the conductor of an orchestra, right?
Yeah,
You're bringing together all these talented people to create something beautiful.
exactly. You're guiding the process, setting the vision, but you're relying on others to execute it.
All right, now law number 6, learn to keep people dependent on you. This one sounds a little manipulative, don't you think?
It can be, but it's also just a reality of power dynamics. We all depend on others to some extent, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
The key is to understand how those dependencies create power imbalances and how you can leverage them.
So it's not about making people helpless. It's about recognizing the interdependence that already exists.
Exactly. And being aware of how that impacts relationships.
And it's interesting because this kind of goes against the whole be independent message we get all the time.
Yeah, for sure. But Greene's saying that a degree of reliance is inevitable, so you might as well understand how it works.
Okay, law number 7, use selective honesty to disarm your victim. This one sounds kind of sneaky.
It is sneaky, but think about it. Have you ever noticed how if someone's honest with you about one small thing, it makes you more likely to trust them overall?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what this law is about. Using strategic honesty to build trust, even if it's not entirely genuine.
So it's like you're lowering their guard with a little bit of truth.
Exactly.
So they're more vulnerable to whatever you're going to do next.
It's a bit manipulative, for sure.
Okay, on to law number 8. Crush your enemy completely.
Whoa. This one's intense, right?
Yeah. Sounds kind of ruthless.
Greene's point is that in the game of power, leaving even a weakened opponent standing can be dangerous. They can regroup, come back stronger.
So it's like, if you're going to take someone down, make sure they stay down.
Basically, yeah. He uses the example of the ancient Romans, who were notorious for completely wiping out their enemies, leaving no room for future rebellion.
That's pretty hardcore. It makes sense in a historical context, but I don't know how well that translates to today's world.
It definitely raises some ethical questions, right?
Yeah, like how far is too far?
It's a slippery slope, that's for sure.
This one definitely feels relevant, though, you know? Like in the business world, things can get pretty cutthroat.
Absolutely. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
Okay, law number 9 is all about keeping up appearances. Keep your hands clean.
Oh, yeah. This one's about staying above the fray, even if you're the one pulling the strings.
It's like that saying, power corrupts.
Right. And the more power you have, the more important it is to appear blameless.
Think about all those political scandals, right?
Mm-hmm.
The person at the top always claims they had no idea what was going on.
Exactly. It's about using others to carry out your dirty work so you can maintain a spotless image.
It's a classic tactic, and it works.
It definitely makes you question everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, who's really in control here?
Right. It's a reminder to always look beyond the surface.
Okay, last but not least, law number 10. Know when to stop.
This one feels kind of counterintuitive, right?
How so?
Well, we're always told to never give up, to keep pushing for more. But Greene's saying that sometimes the smartest move is to walk away.
Exactly. It's about recognizing when you've reached the peak of your power and consolidating your gains.
So it's not about weakness, it's about, like, strategic retreat.
Yeah, it's about knowing when to quit while you're ahead, so to speak.
Because if you keep pushing, you might lose everything you've gained.
Right. He uses the example of Napoleon, who achieved incredible power, but then overreached and ended up losing it all. That's a good point. Like, even the most powerful people can fall.
Exactly. It's a reminder that there is a time for ambition and a time for contentment.
Wow. Okay. So after diving into all these laws, what's like the biggest takeaway for you?
Honestly, it's that power is such a complex thing. It can be used for good or for evil. And understanding these laws, it doesn't tell you how to use power. It just shows you how it works.
Yeah, so it gives you this awareness of the dynamics that are always at play.
Exactly. So whether you're trying to climb the ladder yourself or just protect yourself from being manipulated, this knowledge is super valuable.
Totally. So to wrap things up, I want to leave everyone with a question. Which of these laws resonated with you the most? And how might you use it or avoid it in your own life?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because this stuff, it's not just about history, right? It's about how we interact with each other every day.
Absolutely. Power dynamics are everywhere.
So pay attention, folks, and stay savvy.